Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Cameron. Some things don't change, Al. McDonald basketball.
Put up points.
Points.
If
you like points, you like the Blue Devils, definitely.
Yeah, another great start from McDonald. Jake Portalese puts up 42. Coaches may change, but the style of play stays the same as some teams. Just every year, George, when you put their scores up, and think, man, they always are in the 80s. They're always in the 90s. And then you look at other teams that play defensive games. They're in the 50s. Yep, McDonald continues their hot start.
4-0, no shot clock. It's your choice.
Yeah, I like that, George. I know that is the call around our country, that they're tired of seeing teams hold the ball. I am just the opposite. I think you want high school to be different in college and pros.
You wouldn't change it if you had a vote.
No, I'd be anti. I would talk about it. I'd say that let the coaches coach. You know, that means you're in my mind. If you put a shot clock in, then the talented teams are always going to win.
It slants it more.
Oh, I think it slants immensely.
Because they have to shoot the ball.
Yes.
And also, let's play it out, more rebounds.
Everything about the
bigger
game.
Team, better team, more.
No chance. I think that's what happens. That's why very seldom in college do you see a team with the less talent get all the way to the national championship game. Very seldom.
Right.
Because they have to play. And you have to play the pro style. You have to play the college style. They say, you don't get them ready for college. You don't. Not every kid could play in high school is a college player.
Think about how long we were in it.
Yes.
And how few college players we had.
Oh no, I had two Division I players ever in my 40-some years.
Just good players.
Yeah, I had nice players. I had nice
Yeah.
players, but I'm talking about not what these guys are used to. And,
No.
and George, when we coached, I saw both of us do it. Sometimes we'll score 70 or 80 to win. Sometimes we score 30 or 40 to win. And we had control of that. We could say that we did some coaching.
Yeah.
There's a shot clock. You coach fundamentals. You coach playing fast because you have to.
Mm-hmm. And you have a certain signal at a certain time where everything ends in a high pick and roll anyway.
Yeah, have to.
If not, you're not getting a shot.
Yeah, there is both George ran the flex and I ran a lot of sets. Those would be out today. George would get 3 passes on it. He may get 3 passes in the flex, and then whatever, go one-on-one or high pick and roll or whatever, because you can't throw more than 3 or 4 passes when there's a shot clock. I mean, by the time you get the ball up the floor, let's say it's down to 26 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Make 3 or 4 passes, you're down to 14. Now you got to play.
Right.
So I'm against the shot clock.
I like watching the game, like up and down, but at the same time, it does give the underdog less of a chance.
Give the coach a chance. That's what I see.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching the game. Nobody likes to freeze the ball, but I would say to the defensive team,
Get up and guard.
Get up and guard.
Mm-hmm.
Who says you have to stay back in pack line?
The game that sticks in my mind is Villanova Georgetown. Way back.
Yes.
That's the game that sticks in my mind.
It was one of the greatest basketball games ever played. The game was in the 50s.
They miss.
No, it was an unbelievable basketball game. And I know I surely enjoyed that game. I never thought, we should have a shot clock here. No, I never thought that one time.
All right, let's turn our attention in our local segment to the pros.
We don't do that
did
too
I say
often.
pros?
We don't do that too often.
Did I say pros?
I know, it's a tough call.
Cleveland dumped half their payroll with 2 guys. They dumped a super duper star, one of the greats, and kept their payroll in half. I'll let you discuss it. I know it made you sick.
Well, I just don't like baseball in their 2-tier system where you can only be good for a certain period of time. And Cleveland made their run. I mean, they decided now we can't win a championship, so let's get rid of Francisco Lindor, a guy who's, with his smile and his energy and his talent, would have been a legend in Cleveland. He played there his whole life.
I'll tell you what, too. I've had the good fortune of watching a lot of their games. man, is he good.
Oh,
Man, oh man.
he's great in the field. He's great running. He hit the power, hits in the gaps, and he loves the game. I mean,
Okay.
so the Mets get a guy that they know is an all-star because they'll pay him. They also get Carlos Carrasco.
Let's talk
a
about
good
that.
pitcher.
See, that's no throw-in. People who don't know the Indians think that's a throw-in. We've seen Carrasco pitch.
When he's healthy, he's a top of the line pitcher. He's in the top two in rotation. Mets can win nothing too. That's what I'm saying.
Jimenez and Rosario, are they what ifs? Are they?
What else? They're shortstops. Both of them play. They're just decent major league shortstops.
Nothing.
Then they get two pitchers that are they just hope to be good. It's a
So you're not looking at those
It's a
two
throwaway.
and saying
It's a throwaway. And it's a throwaway. I hate it. Pirates have been doing it forever. Our local fans are normally either rooting for the Indians, the Detroit Tigers, the Reds, or the Pirates. Most of them are Indian fans, and I know you have to be hating this trade, seeing Lindor.
what don't we like about baseball? This.
Oh yeah, it drives me crazy.
We've been on this air forever, on the radio forever, just bemoaning this system where if you're not one of the 5 or 6, you have really no chance. Every once in a while, somebody sneaks in there.
They don't win it all though.
But if I said to you next year, your life depends upon it,
Exactly.
you're going to say Dodgers,
Yankees.
Yankees, Padres.
Yeah, right down the line. I know.
Guys that spend the money.
They're spending the money, and we have a plan. It isn't like we just don't talk about it. If you want to spend $300,000, go ahead, do it. We don't mind that. That's your choice as owner. But every owner who has a baseball club in the major leagues has to spend $150 million. You have to spend $150. You cannot be a $40 million payroll like the Pirates and Indians. There's guys that are making more as one or two guys on the team.
One time, Al and I were talking. I don't know if we were at the game or we were talking. The Yankees were in, and they were paying A-Rod and Jeter more than the entire Pirate team.
Two guys.
Now, Al,
And the other thing that goes with that is, this is a discussion we've had millions of times, that they don't care if they make a mistake either. And see, that's the thing that people will talk about. Let's say Lindor gets hurt and doesn't work out. They'll go out the next year and pay another guy. So they don't worry about mistakes. Whereas the Indians and Pirates make a mistake at all, that puts them back 10 years. They said, we can't have a $15, $20 million mistake. We got to hit on everybody we pay money to.
let's talk about the Mets too. It appears they got deeper pockets.
Yeah, they do. That Cohen guy came in, said he was going to spend. He didn't lie. He's going for Bryant from the Cubs. He's going
Bryant, I told you, I like Bryant.
Oh, he's a very good player.
I mean,
he's an all-star.
You throw him on the Mets. You throw Carrasco in there, Lindor in there.
Yeah, you got
If
Lindor
you
and Bryant.
grab Paxton or Kluber,
They're trying. They're reaching out to every big timer there is. LeMay, who's the only one they didn't reach out to. I think they didn't want to deal with the Yankees on that one. But other than that, they're reaching out for everybody. So if the Mets spend wisely, and they're
it's
trying
called
to,
the Big Apple, Al.
yeah,
In other words, let's not downplay the celebrity
everything
that goes
matters.
with being in New York. Now, it's not the Yankees,
Uh-huh.
but it's not liver. Chocolate liver.
Anybody is a part of New York is living the life of money, and so the Mets are one of those big money teams now. They're wouldn't surprise me within the next 5 years. They're right with the Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, that kind of crew.
Let's stay with the local scene. Ohio State, a lot of COVID early in the week, talks of a postponement. The game is on. It's Monday night, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be similar to watching a tennis match.
Yeah, it'd be shocking if it isn't, because both offenses are so good, and college football is made for offense now. No huddles, going quick, RPOs, hard to stop. Great receivers, great running backs, great offensive lines. The defense can't keep up. Even Nick Saban, the great Nick Saban, said, who's always been a defensive coach, said you're not winning a national championship with defense anymore. You're winning with offense. George, all you got to know is the number. You told me the number, 77. The over/under in the game, 77.
But here's the worst part. I don't think I could take under.
Well, they know that too. That's why they put it there.
I would have looked at you. If you'd have told me that 15 years ago, I'd have said something else sick.
On Alabama's bad days, they score 45.
Yeah.
On their bad days. So you're going to say they're going to score, so they're going to have 49. The line's 7, so the thing it's a close game.
35.
That's 40. That's 49-42. That's
Really?
close to 90 points. That's.
Hey, Ryan Day says, look, we're shelling. Don't worry. We got plenty of players.
They're going to have 53.
Put that to rest that he won't have enough Scully guys. The tests are over, by the way.
Yes. How about that? As we do our show right now,
Yeah.
the Big Ten has been all over this, and they've been testing every day.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
year.
Alabama, Ohio State's coming. Don't worry about it.
Now Ohio State said, listen, listen, Ohio State, you committees up there, you calling the shots. We are quitting testing today as we leave. We're not testing anymore. We're going full blast. We're going to play.
Alabama was leaving Saturday. Ohio State leaving Sunday.
So we know
Monday night.
that game will be full throttle.
So
Everybody
true.
playing.
Thoughts on the game, Al Camp?
Well, my thoughts is Alabama's LSU's from last year. I think Ohio State is going to have to score every possession.
3 guys in the Heisman 5.
That's all you got to know. Think what you
What
said.
he calls him
Best offensive line.
Smitty. I get a charge out of Coach Saban calling him Smitty. That dude's a bad dude.
Yeah, Heisman winner. I'm glad they gave it to him because he was the best player in the league nation. But along with the Heisman people, they got the Alabama's offensive line voted the number 1 offense in the
Joe Moore Award.
And it's not just voted. You watch them play. They're a juggernaut of pass blocking and run blocking. All 5 stars, every one of them. Ohio State will match them, though, on offense. I think Ohio State can score points. But they're going to have to score all the time. Because Alabama goes up and down the field and everybody.
Fields' injury, anything?
I don't think. I think he's going to be healthy. They'll shoot him up with needles anyway. He'll play one game full
Hate to
blast.
say it.
He's going to play this game full blast. And
All right. I agree. Let's shift gears. Jersey sales.
this is amazing.
The top jerseys. If you said Mahomes, I would have guessed it. If you gave me 5 shots at number 2.
Yeah, I'd have said Rodgers immediately. I really would. I thought Mahomes and Rodgers then go from there.
Maybe Derrick Henry. Maybe
You're one of the stars. Yeah, I got you.
Zeke. Maybe Cowboys used to be America's team.
Instead, we got 2 Browns in the top 10. At number 2,
Yeah,
Baker
Mayfield.
At number 2, you think it has something to do with his
His visibility.
commercials?
Those commercials are dynamite. Where he's pretending that's his house.
That is. I got to admit
Yeah.
that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But he is number 2. The Cleveland, and at number 7 is another local guy, Nick Chubb. So the Browns have become America's team. George mentioned Dallas. All of a sudden, the Browns are stepping up.
How about Rodgers at 3? No surprise.
Big surprise to me. I thought he'd be number 1.
He's got those new insurance commercials.
I
he
thought
How
he'd be
about
number
where he
1.
throws the ball and the dog won't go get it? That's kind of cute.
Number 1. He is. He's on TV just as much as Mayfield.
Oh.
And that's why I thought Rodgers, a national brand with the Green Bay, but he's number 3. We got Brady, who's always going to be in the top 10. Number 4.
Brady's only been in the league 20 years.
Yeah, I know. Josh Allen surprising me. Buffalo's a team that's
You know
not.
what, though? That Bills Mafia. Do you remember when his mom died?
No, I don't.
His mom died this year, Al. And they raised, like, the most absurd amount of money you've ever heard in your life in memory of his mom for the Children's Hospital.
That is awesome.
Those fans there, he has a connection with them. And I think Jim Kelly had the same connection. Bills quarterback, the Bills fans, man, Al, no baseball, no basketball. They're all in.
Gotcha. That sounds like a good recipe. Because Allen coming in this year, you understand,
Yeah.
no one was talking about him at all.
Now, his grandma passed,
So
and they said, what can we do? They raised an obscene amount of money in her name.
gotcha.
So he loves the fans, too.
Mhm.
It's 2 ways there. Lamar Jackson at 6, nothing's no surprise.
No, not at all. He's been all.
But we need him to do what? Step up
win a
and play
playoff game. Yeah, he needs to win a playoff game for us to have him rated. But as a jersey seller, I can see he's a charisma type guy.
Chop at 7,
That's
that's
surprised.
surprised
That
me. We
guy.
said it.
Wilson, Kamara, and
No, it
Breeze
doesn't surprise.
ran out
Kamara and
the top
Breeze.
10.
Any surprise, Kamara and
No,
Breeze?
not at all. No, there's only two surprises for me are Chubb in the top 10 and Rodgers not 1 or 2. That's
Ain't
those
that
are my
something?
surprises.
And that's something. kind of along the same theme, the fact that Mayfield is
yes.
way up there.
Never thought that.
Those commercials, let me ask you, have you ever seen the Fansville commercials, Dr. Pepper?
I go right by him. You know,
Have you ever seen the sheriff in those?
I've seen him. Bosworth, I know
he's
him.
terrific. He just kind of nods, doesn't say much.
I don't watch him much.
There's one there where they do it. The guy's in court. He's on trial for jinxing the kicker. He goes, he'll make this. And the kid misses it.
I've done that. I was on trial.
Judge is there and he says, well, he makes him out. He goes, did you say he would? And the courtroom goes, like that, like, don't do that. We've learned ourselves, don't jinx the kicker.
Yeah, there's a lot of jinxing.
Hey, rest in peace. Famous, I would say, not just as a manager, but a baseball man, an ambassador of the game, Tommy Lasorda. Your thoughts? You grew up in his time.
Well, you said
some
it
of
best.
the kids today wouldn't
They
be
would
as
know.
familiar.
They would have no idea. But Oral Horsheiser, who was his ace pitcher, said, "What word would you use for him?" You just said it. He said, "The word I would use for him is ambassador." He lived baseball. Would go out and talk about it with baseball with anybody at any time. His passion for the game of baseball. And Tommy Lasorda died at the age of 93. Joined the Dodgers in 1960. When at the time when Dodgers pitching staff was unbelievable, and never made it big there, but stayed in the system, never left it. 70-some years with the Dodgers. That is blows my mind that somebody could work at a job with in the same place for the same franchise for 70-some years. His number 2 jersey was retired, and he took over. I love the story. He took over for Walter Alston, another legend coach managing. And Vin Scully, the Hall of Fame announcer, asked him, "Well, what do you think, Tommy? Going to be tough trying to replace Walter Alston. What do you say about that?" He said, Vin, what I'm thinking more about is I feel bad for the person who's going to replace me." You talk about a positive thinker. He always had those kind of thoughts. Believe the best, George.
We had a buddy that knew him from umpiring down in the Venezuelan League. I mean, it's not like he was just handed the position. Al and I, for you young kids, younger audience, back in the day, these teams used 4-man staffs. So there were 8 teams. There were 32 pitchers. These teams today are using 12 and 13 pitchers, and there are 30 teams.
Yeah, so I make no bones about it. I think football and basketball are 2 sports that they're never look alike. They're so much better than old basketball used to be or old football. I don't see it in baseball. When there's so many teams and you have to try to find so many pitchers, Georgia said it best. There are 8 teams with 4 pitchers. That means there was 32 best pitchers.
32
so just
starters.
take the 32 best pitchers of Major League
And
Baseball.
no relievers. If you weren't any good, you went to the bullpen.
Yeah,
there were relievers.
Yeah, today, relievers are thought of as genius.
But today, they were groomed.
Yes. 32 best pitchers.
Don't bring so-and-so in, there's a guy on.
I had a young kid. I said, listen. I said, name the 8 best first basemen in baseball today. So he got the number 8, and he said number 9, Mark Grace was the guy. Okay, I said, you not realize he wouldn't have been in the pros. There was 1 first baseman. 8 of them played. That was it.
I saw Bill Russell one. He was almost Faraday on the golf. Terrific in it. He's the best. And the guy said something. He said, he asked him, he said, Jordan said to him, "I'm going to get your record." And Russell was not short on confidence. He said, "Which one?"
I love it.
You only got like 11 championships.
Yes, I love it.
Player, coach. And Jordan said something, and, Russell has that big laugh.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Michael," he said, "that time you won with that shot." And Michael says, "Yeah, Paxton." He said, "Michael, he'd have never made that shot when I played." And Michael, takes the bait. He says, "Why not?" He said, "He'd have been in the stands." He said, "There were only 8 teams." He said, "He wouldn't have been on the floor."
Yeah, it's the truth. So the times have changed immensely in all sports.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that baseball is the one sport.
I know throwing arms are. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, from the outside.
Oh, bounce it in, roll it in, kick it in.
It's a joke. They're
My father, that would drive you. That's why he loved Clemente so much.
Yes.
Al Kaline. All right, khaki pants, Al. Now he's only making $4 million with incentives. Poor guy at $80,000 a week. I'm not sure he can make it, but he might. But if it went by beating Ohio State, he'd owe the school money.
See, we're talking about Harbaugh at Michigan, and he signed a new contract. Really surprised me. That tells me that Michigan does not want to be Ohio State. They could talk because he doesn't come close, George. It isn't like he had one game where he had him on the
or something.
he had him on the
No,
run.
you're right. Then.
He doesn't, and he has not beat Michigan State either. It isn't like he just dominates. He's high 500 against Michigan State, but they brought him back, and he got a new staff. He's hiring new coaches.
But he's done this before.
So we're gonna see.
If I'm on that Michigan committee or whatever, I've heard all this. Jim, tell us something different. What are you going to do? The guy down the road's making a fool out of you.
Yeah, a few fans around this area who are gigantic Ohio State fans, and I know you are Youngstown State and Ohio State fans in this area. You have to be celebrating because.
Oh, I put it on Twitter. They popped the champagne the other night.
Yeah, the Michigan rehired Jim Harbaugh.
Nowhere near beating him.
He hasn't come close to be. And remember this, and I've said it on this show before. I consider Michigan and Ohio State on par. I grew up when they weren't. I grew up when that game came on at noon.
Mm-hmm.
That game was a toss-up every year. You know who's going to win.
You got to forget that.
There's not a thought to that.
Nope.
There's not a thought to that.
Nope. By the way, low buyout, so they're thinking he may not finish his contract. I think they were hoping the pros came calling, and they didn't.
Yeah, the pros didn't want him. I know that. So his stock has went down.
Let's look at another troubled place, Tennessee. I think I'm seeing through it and thinking they want out.
Yeah, Jeremy Pruitt is now being looked into for potential recruiting violations. And George has a thought. George, how's that pay scale? How's that work?
Well, the buyout's ridiculous, of course.
Okay.
But if they can find just cause, they can fire him and not pay him.
So they're going to use the just cause of recruiting violations.
I think.
Because
hey, let's be honest. If he's cheating recruiting, he ain't a very good cheater.
No, he is not. He is. Yeah. So, people were raving about Tennessee, and George and I looked at each other and said, "I don't get it.
I'll see it
until we see it."
Mm-mm.
We go by the
I got into it years ago with Josh Dobbs.
Right.
I haven't heard from
Tennessee fans.
He's a college, which is an option quarterback.
Yeah, he's just a good running quarterback.
That's all. I didn't say he was no. See, once again, with the we crowd, the we, they're at their, I don't know
if
what
you're
numbers.
one of those fans watching and you're talking about Ohio State, and we need to get better offensive players.
Nah.
That means you can't talk to you because
you're
part of the Ohio State
you're
team.
You're either French, or you're part of the team. Batonio, the Browns, without him, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it really is. Considered the best guard in football, or one, along with Nelson of Baltimore. He's out. He's out for the game against the Steelers. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Okay, Stefanski out with the COVID. He's the play caller. 1 to 10, the damage.
I don't have big. I have more. I have confidence more in the head coach thing. Because a lot of the head coaches don't. There's guys on.
But he calls
staff.
plays.
Yeah, I know. But there's lots of guys that know. So I don't see it.
Van Pelt.
He'll call the game exactly like Stefanski's talked to him every day this
first
week.
Quarter scripted anyway.
Yep,
probably.
Yep, first and the third quarter. So now they script first and third. So he's got to have the feel for the game. That's
all right. We got 4 minutes. Let's look at those three games on Saturday very quickly. Oh no, by the time our people see them, they'll be over. Thoughts on the tournament as a whole? Is 7 too many?
No.
Did you like it better at 6, or would you like to see 8?
I like it better at 6. Yeah, I'm always less than better is better on all sports.
You're one of these guys. Your tradition is
I'm
you like it when it's tougher to make.
Yes.
Okay, let me say this. How about this? With Kansas City getting the bye, sitting their players week 17, they in effect have 3 weeks off. Rest, tell me your thoughts.
That's what it is. It's a rest recipe. You're trying to say.
What does Albert think?
Well, the rest part is. Well, I think it's good because you're coming perfectly healthy. And if I'm the best team and I'm coming in healthy, I think it's the best way to be. You don't want anybody nicked up. You don't want to come in any injuries. I think you practice. You're mentally sharp. There's no reason not to be well rested and ready to go. So I think there's an advantage to the team that got the wild card.
Okay, and we have a buddy who's Travis Kelce's agent. He was a unanimous choice for All-Pro. One of the greats.
Well, he's the best tight end in football right now, easily, and that's an advantage for Kansas City because Kelce is head and shoulders by any tight end in football.
And he's not their only weapon.
Oh, jeez, that's a joke. Yeah, Kansas City's really good offensively. Defensively, they're not real sharp, real good. That's why they can be beat in the playoffs. They'll be the favorite going in, but they definitely can be beat.
If I asked you 3 weeks out, who would you tell me you were going to see?
Right now, I'd say the team that's playing the best is Buffalo. So I'll take Buffalo in the AFC and Green Bay in the
My
NFC.
last question, we're off. The fact that there are no fans, the difficulty in the road win, would it be how much easier for Buffalo when Kansas City's just rocking?
I'd pick Kansas City.
Okay.
You know, if there were fans
Okay.
and playing in places, I'd have Kansas City and Green Bay. But since there's no fans and Buffalo's playing the best ball, I see the fans are having no effect. That's why I took Buffalo.
You heard it here. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.